All right, guys, so we have a major story here that I wanted to share with you. Shout out to TrumpFile.org that compiled this stuff here. We covered a story about a month or two ago which talked about how 1,200 people have been disappeared by ICE Gestapo thugs. 1,200 people. Since then, that number has skyrocketed. We've gotten more reporting on this. So take a look at this. Over 4,200 people missing in DHS ICE custody. Let me repeat that. Over 4,200 people missing in DHS/ICE custody. So in other words, they're not following the proper process. They're not following the procedure. They're not putting all the names in a computer. They're not getting in contact with the people's families. They're not getting in contact with lawyers, for example. It's not happening. So what are they doing? Well, some of these people are being sent to concentration camps, as you know, quite literally. Others are being deported to third countries that they've never been to and know nothing about and don't speak the language. They've been trying to deport people. I hope you know this. They've been trying to deport people to Libya. Libya is a failed state with open slave markets. They'll take somebody who's not Libyan and send them there. What do you think is going to happen in that scenario? They're going to end up a fucking slave. That's what's going to happen. And now we know 4,200 are missing. By the way, how many of them are dead? How many of them are dead? We just discussed a story the other day of, I believe it's 22 or 23 people who've died in ICE custody. 22 or 23. We know at least one of them, there's evidence, physical evidence of lynching. They were found hanged in their cell with their hands tied and their feet tied. We are dealing with an organized criminal outlet. That's what this is. This is an organized criminal outlet. And in fact, as I'm talking to you, I see on the screen, there was this shooting in Washington, D.C., where they say it was of National Guardsmen, right? I got to be honest, I'm surprised that it's taken this long for there to be attacks, whether it be against National Guard people or the military who are still illegally occupying certain cities, or ICE or Border Patrol or DHS or all these federal officials that are illegally being sent to invade blue cities. I'm surprised it's taken this long for violence to unfold against those people. Because we've been looking at systemic violence targeted at innocent people where we get facts like this. 4,200 of them are missing. And of course, eventually, something was going to happen in the other direction. So let me give you some more. NBC Chicago reports that over 3,000 people arrested by federal agents, nearly every Chicago detainee in the past 7 weeks, are missing from DHS records. Around 1,200 Florida detainees are missing since last month and still haven't been found. That's the Alligator Auschwitz people. That's the Alligator Alcatraz people. DHS and Border Patrol officials claim that only undocumented immigrants are targeted in Operation Midway Blitz, the sweeping and violent crackdown on immigration in Chicago. However, officials have gone to court for making arrests without warrants, and the identities and locations of most detainees can't be proven since the agency has deleted or failed to make records of their arrests. These people need to be arrested. The ones who are not doing their job properly, not following the process, they all need to be fucking arrested. Local reports and video footage have shown documented workers, U.S. citizens, and even American children being picked up by foreign agents in the area every week since the operation began. Quote, these are folks that have been here for decades, have long-standing ties to the community, family members, employment, businesses that are all being torn apart. Attorney Mark Fleming told NBC Chicago. Fleming believes many of the missing people have been deported, likely without any opportunity to speak to a lawyer or prove they're in the country legally. These are lawsuits waiting to happen, guys. These are lawsuits waiting to happen. Civil lawsuits where ICE is going to get fucking, shook down to the tune of tens of millions of dollars, if not fucking billions of dollars, because every one of these examples is wildly, wildly illegal. The situation in Florida is similar, with the Justice Department admitting this month that some Alligator Alcatraz detainees may be legal residents. Oh my God. 4 weeks ago, 1,200 people held at Florida's Alligator Alcatraz were found to be missing. 1/3 had their location deleted from DHS records. The rest no longer had a DHS record at all. This is what happens when they systematically hire criminals. I mean, there's been detailed reporting on this that explains that people are failing background checks. They're fucking domestic abusers. They're, Proud Boys or KKK people or white nationalist people. They have a long rap sheet. They're failing the written test in order to be an ICE agent, and they're still fucking welcomed. These are like deputized Proud Boys. They're still welcomed. And then, you see these videos where you have these unprofessional immigration officials, and they're assaulting innocent people, and they're on camera going, liberals ruin this country. Somebody said to them, you guys are destroying this country. One of them goes, liberals ruin this country. Gee, I wonder what's going on here. I wonder if this is a hostile red state invasion of blue states. I wonder. Actually, I don't. That's exactly what the fuck it is. And everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. If you're paying attention, you know it. You get it. It's clear. And so here we are. And you're not going to see too many stories about this. You're not going to see, unfortunately, too many Democrats talk about this. But this is a fucking scandal, and this is a crisis. If they're disappearing 4,200 people, and we know they've already killed 22 or 23, including potentially a lynching, not following due process by any stretch of the imagination, what's gonna become of these people? Kidnapped off the street, black bagged off the street in America, and just disappeared. This is hardcore authoritarian, tyrannical, fascist bullshit, and everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. The only way to stop it is to speak out against it. The Democrats need to speak out against it. The media needs to speak out against it. We have to hold these criminals responsible for doing this. Rule of law has to make a comeback. And I hope there's experts out there, legal experts, attorneys, who are prosecutors, who are keeping track of everything, keeping track of every single thing that the regime is doing that's illegal. Because that's the only way, man. That's the only way. We need new Nuremberg trials. It's never been more clear. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop. And watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.